Lent number 27. Today we are going through the Diary of Saint Faustina, and today's journal entries. I'm going through our 1161 to 1209. You may have noticed a different background today. This is actually my wall from my childhood bedroom growing up, and a lot of people ask me about the tree background that I have, and it's just wallpaper from Home Depot. But the reason that I did that and gained inspiration for that is from my old bedroom. I had this wallpaper mural. It was about 11 or so years ago that we got this, so I'm not sure where it's from, but I've always loved this. It was always fun having it in my room, and so then when I got married, I thought it'd be cool to have one, but a different theme, if you will, so that's why I found the trees. But this is fun in honor of spring coming up, spring break, kind of tropical palms. Palm Sunday's coming up, so that's fun. And I want to read this little section really quickly. It is journal entry 1183. And Saint Faustina writes this prayer, and she says, "Oh Jesus, I want to live in the present moment, to live as if this were the last day of my life. I want to use every moment scrupulously for the greater glory of God, to use every circumstance for the benefit of my soul. I want to look upon everything from the point of view that nothing happens without the will of God." To me, I feel like this particular prayer really encompasses what I've been trying to do with my life always, but really focused in the last several years. I want to live my life glorifying God, not for my own desires, not for my own selfishness, but truly glorify Him through that. And I find that as I've been doing that, really trying to focus on using every circumstance for the benefit of my soul, as she so eloquently writes, I'm finding a lot more peace. And there are many areas in my life still that cause me anxiety and tension and stress, and I'm trying to take all of those things and try to simplify and tone things down and make it so that I can truly embrace every moment. And when you do really deeply reflect on that concept of living each day as if it's your last, I've heard it in a few different songs on the radio, and it's an excellent thing to think about. But when you truly sit there and really think, what if this was my last day of life and I knew that? How differently would I do things? Probably, and most likely, if we knew it was our last day, we would probably reconcile a lot of relationships that were damaged. We would probably want to make amends with people so that we are given peace. So if that's the type of thing that we would do right before death, isn't that something that we should do now to give ourselves peace now while we're living? And even more recently, my husband and I invited over somebody that we hadn't seen in quite a while. And it was a couple, and they came over mostly to get to see the kids and stuff. But as they were here, they just seemed so joyful and so happy. And then they left, and we were just reflecting on what a nice visit that was, and that these were people we want to have in our lives more often because they were so uplifting, and we left feeling refreshed and happy and just very neutral, and not the way sometimes people will leave and it's this big drama thing. And so we were kind of thinking about it, and we realized that for the majority of their visit, when we were talking about things, they were talking about their hobbies and not about work, not about their job or complaints. They had a love of nature, and they were sharing different groups that they were in. They were sharing some hobbies that they have. The wife is an artist, so she was sharing some of her watercolor pictures, and they were just talking about all these things that they've been doing. And they do work, but to hear somebody not make mention too much of work or not define themselves by their work, it was mind-boggling to me, because that's what everybody does. Our work is so ingrained into who we are, and I can't think of the last time somebody was just casually telling me about their hobby. And as I was reflecting upon all of this with Mario, my husband, we were saying how we can barely think of anybody else who focuses on their hobby. But then we did think of another couple that we know who they're the same way. They don't talk about work very much. They don't complain very much. They have different hobbies and activities that they do. And we realized that both of those couples the 4 people, what they all had in common was that they were very genuinely happy and joyful. And that has profoundly affected me. This only happened like a week or so ago, so it hasn't been this long-term thing, but it has been on my mind and heightened by reading this, and just how, looking at my own life, am I focused on the bad, negative aspects of my life, or am I developing and growing and taking part in hobbies and fun events? I think sometimes as moms, we have this idea that anytime we're not taking care of our children or cleaning or cooking, that we should be working and bringing in an income because we're a boss woman. And while it's certainly fine to have entrepreneurial side hustles and things that you're doing to make in a little bit of extra income to supplement what your husband's bringing in, it's not essential. You need to nurture yourself. We keep hearing all these things about self-care, and I think self-care goes beyond wearing a face mask or painting your nails here and there. It's also developing passions and self-improvement, nurturing your soul and the God-given talents that you have. So anyway, one of my focuses going forward is to spend just a little bit of time, 5-10 minutes a day minimum. It'd be great if it could turn into something longer than that, but sometimes it's the baby steps. 5-10 minutes a day to nurture your soul. Do something strictly for fun and force yourself to do it simply because you like it or because you want to grow in a skill. Just take that little bit of time. I'd say watch a YouTube video to teach you something, and you could do that, but the only problem with the internet is it can get you very distracted, and then this cycle of watching all kinds of things. So either be very intentional about watching something that's teaching you a skill, or maybe get a book about it, because it's a lot easier to stay focused if you're referring to a book versus the whole World Wide Web, because then you get notifications and emails and it gets crazy. So that could be something to try. So anyway, that's the part that really stuck out to me in this section. So let me know in the comments below what your hobbies are, if you have any hobbies, or if you used to do something that you want to get back into, and I would love to hear what kinds of things that you enjoy. Thank you for watching, and if you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. So go ahead and do that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.